37th parallel on America's haunted highway, it's Pixelated Paranormal, your guide to the unusual and the strange.
Ooh, that's me. All right. Well, what's up, everybody? Ho, ho, ho. And welcome to Pixelated Paranormal. I, of course, am Sean. I got a little bit of eggnog with gingerbread whiskey here to help me get in the holiday spirit. And with me, as always, is Preston. Presto, buddy, how are you?
Bah humbug, all you cool ghosts and goblins, you crocodoons and crocodingos, you skeletors and skelets and witchers and witches and whatever the fuck else you want to be. I hope you get cold in your stocking because I am just like the Grinch. My heart's 5 sizes too small.
Your heart's 5 sizes too small because y'all already had Christmas.
Yeah. That, and plus, I, a couple of years ago, bought this very nice LG refrigerator with the freezer on bottom, black stainless steel, trying to, remodel the house, update it. The wife's like, oh my God, this refrigerator's beautiful. Cha-ching, slide the car, make the wife happy. There's a fucking class action lawsuit right now going on in LG because those bastards put half-ass compressors in the refrigerators that shoot out or crap out after like 2 years. So Daddy had to fucking order a brand new refrigerator because it was either spend $1,500 to replace a shitty compressor that's probably going to go out again or cut my losses and just buy a goddamn new refrigerator. So that's what I did. And because it's the holidays and our country sucks and shipping's a mess, I'm not going to get said refrigerator till January 24th of 2024. So fuck you, Christmas. Apparently, that's how Santa gave me my goddamn coals in my stocking. That's all.
Oh, holy shit, man.
Yeah, Daddy's bitter.
That's pretty rough, dude.
That's what I got to say.
Well, Shayla gave me a gift early this year, and I got a very rare paperback novelization of George A. Romero's Martin for Christmas. So,
nice.
I'm doing all right.
I did get a Old Greg T-shirt that's got Old Greg on it, holding up a shoe that says, "You ever drank Bailey's from a shoe?" And I thought that was probably the best Christmas present ever. I fucking just put it on immediately.
Hey, there you go.
And sent you guys a picture, and Rob's like, "If you wear that on D&D, your character's automatically dead." Rob also doesn't have much of the Christmas spirit with that attitude.
Right. Oh, that's funny, man. Well, speaking of Christmas, we are your guides to the unusual and the strange, and we make no exception for the holidays. So on this episode, it's our 2023 Christmas special, so we're coming at you guys with more Christmas weirdness. And on this episode, we're going to get into a really strange topic, which is Christmas werewolves. Presto, is that a new one for you? Because it was for me.
Never fucking heard that. I think you're making shit up at this point.
I thought I was too when I read about it because, we've done Christmas specials ever since our 16th episode, I think.
Yeah.
So we've got 8 years worth of holiday specials. And after 8 years, you really start reaching out for the really obscure Christmas creatures and creeps like Krampus and Der Belsnickel, Frau Perchta, and the list kind of just goes down till you're at the bottom of the barrel. And then we didn't want to let anybody down last year, so we did we did winter-themed yokai. It's a hell of a lot of fun. And this time around, it was a little tough digging up some Christmas spirit for the show, but I found a shit ton of stuff about Christmas werewolves, and so I'm super stoked to share that. But first, why don't we hit him with a little bit of news, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Albeit it's not Christmas-themed news, it's still a gift we want to give to you guys. A man at Disneyland was arrested Sunday after he allegedly went skinny dipping in the waters of the iconic It's a Small World attraction. Shocking videos on social media show a man strolling around the attraction wearing just underwear and glasses as a pile of clothing sit on the ground. Then another clip shows the man taking a seat next to a singing animatronic doll as music plays in the faux Taj Mahal. Then you can hear someone say, "Stop, stop, you're going to get hurt. Stop, stop, I need you to stop. Please sit down." That, of course, coming from one of the cast members of the show. Another Instagram user posted that a man pushed the boat behind them while on the ride and says, "We were stuck on the ride for about an hour and 15 minutes, but thankfully we got off safely." Now, a different set of non-safe for work clips show the same man now completely in the buff, naked and jumping into the water on the boat ride before he's carried away by security guards and police officers. "Idiot. In front of us, all these kids," one person yells as he's dragged off by Disneyland police. Another theme park guest can be heard booing and yelling, "Moron! Get some clothes on!" Now, we'd share the videos, but there's nudity, and I am not up for seeing that Yule log myself.
You don't want to see his Christmas jingle from his dingle?
No, nor his Chris Kringle.
Yeah.
But I have a fun little anecdote I think I've shared before on the show. One of my own personal levels of hell was being stuck on It's a Small World for like half an hour, somewhere between two neighboring countries, because when you ride that ride, it's basically It's a Small World after all, over and over and over in all these different languages. Yeah, the ride itself is entirely too long as it is, but to be stuck between two countries of languages you don't speak and you just hear like the tune, it was probably the third level of hell for me. So, Dante ain't got nothing on this. Well, our last news story here. Goldie Hawn says that an ET touched her and it felt like the finger of God.
Where'd they stick
Goldie
that
Hawn
finger,
recently
Goldie Hawn?
Whoop, 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 whoop. Goldie Hawn recently described having an alien encounter on the TV show Time to Walk on Apple Fitness Plus, and she said it happened when she was around 20 years old, somewhere in the California desert, during a time when there had been a lot of nearby UFO sightings. Now, the Oscar-winning actress said she had been dancing outside when she decided she would take a nap in a fellow dancer's car. But Hawn didn't get much sleep thanks to a high-pitched sound in her ear. She said it was a high frequency, and I looked out the window and saw these 2 or 3 triangular-shaped heads. She goes on to say that the aliens she met were silver in color, and they had slashes for mouths and tiny little noses, and no ears.
An extra long finger.
Years later, Hawn said,
"Oh dear."
Years later, Hawn said she met an astrophysicist from the University of Champaign, Illinois, who studied alien encounters and triggered more detailed memories about her experience. She said it was kind of like a regression therapy or something like it, and I'm like almost in a trance, and then suddenly I remembered something. They touched my face. Goldie said the touch felt like the finger of God and was the most benevolent, loving feeling. It was powerful, and it filled her with light. Now then a whiskey ad pops up. Okay, the actress said the creatures pointed at her in her car as if she were a subject. She said, "I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. I didn't know if it was real or not real." But now, reportedly, this wasn't Hawn's only paranormal experience. She also went on to tell a story about a dream she had in London of seeing 6 lights coming out of some little mountain across a valley. Later, she drove to that same place that resembled the valley in her dream, and she said she ran into a mysterious heart-shaped crop circle. I almost called it a carp circle, but it wasn't fish. Hawn said she didn't know if the crop circle sighting was the sign,
the aliens
but she
were the
didn't
ones that
really
got that
think
fish.
it. Gang, gang!
Yeah.
She said she didn't know if the crop circle was a sign, but that didn't really matter. "I don't want to know everything," she said. "We cut ourselves off from a lot of things if we're continuing to deny something that we have no proof over. There's a lot of things in this world that we can't see, but we can't stop believing. We can never ever lose our wonder. It's just no fun. It's really an important aspect of being an adventurer, where nothing is impossible." So apparently you can jump onto Twitter, because I refuse to call it X, and you can watch the trailer for the episode on Apple Fitness Plus. But that sounds awesome, dude. That reminds me, it's high time we do another Celebrity Paranormal Files episode. I think that'd be a lot of fun, buddy.
The aliens touch her
Well,
sexually.
Well, now nobody said that. Hey, Fire Pixie's watching. What's up, Fire Pixie? And our friend Lisa. Hello, Lisa. How are you? All right, on to the good stuff. Let's kick things off with Christmas Werewolves. So, presto, it's a tale as old as time, and as the story goes, of course, you know the one. Mary and Joseph took shelter in a manger, and together, along with the other players oftentimes featured in the nativity scene, the three wise men, their trio of camels, a handful of sheep, and a sprinkling of donkeys, they all welcomed the birth of the sweet little baby Jesus. Yes, folks, Christ was born on Christmas Day, and from that fateful day, we all gather to celebrate because Jesus is the reason for the season.
I'm going to push up my history,
But hey,
my history glasses and be like, he was actually
please
born,
do.
he was born in September, and Christmas is a fucking hoax because we had to like get people away from celebrating like a pagan holiday, and they're like, "Fuck you, we like the winter solstice," and they're like, "Guess what? Jesus was born on Christmas. Keep on celebrating." And now we just like fucking like taking it over and been like, you get a gift and you get a gift and fuck you, Aunt Martha. I don't even like you, so get the fuck out of here. And so Christmas is a sham. But carry on. Sweet baby Jesus on a manger.
I can't believe you're even. I can't believe you're inferring that Christmas is nothing more than a bastardized pagan ritual.
Yeah.
Well, Preston, I'm glad you said that because.
And I'm all for
it. Well, what if the sweet little 6-pound, 8-ounce baby Jesus wasn't the only baby born on Christmas Day?
What?
Or maybe, rather, what happens to the other babies who were born on December 25th? Well, for some, it's believed that a child born on Christmas is a special blessing from heaven. But for others, some people believe that sharing the same B-Day as a little baby Jesus is an unforgivable slap in the face of the Christ child, because absolutely nobody should emulate the birth of the Son of our Lord, Preston.
Whoa, my niece dodged a bullet on that one because she was born December 22nd. Oh. So, I mean, she only had 3 days, and she would have been a hellion. So, good job, Bean.
Well, this will be a fun... Next time you see her, this will be some fun facts to fill her in on how she just dodged a silver bullet. Because thus, if you were born on that same fateful day, you'd be cursed. And so is your niece, Preston. And whenever the moon would then be found to be full, you'd be forced upon your hands and knees against your will, with a snout replacing your mouth, claws replacing your hands and feet, and your body being covered in a sheet of thick, mangy fur. In short, presto, you'd be cursed to become a werewolf.
Oh, shit.
Also, though, we gotta mention here that in Italy, it was bad luck to be born anywhere in the winter solstice, December 20th or 21st, and a sure way to become a shapeshifter. In many other European countries, such as Poland, it was also believed that children born on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day automatically get cursed to be werewolves once they grow up into adulthood. Though in Germany, a child...
It's not looking good.
Oh, yeah, buddy. In Germany, a child... In Germany, a child still is in danger, though, of becoming a werewolf if he or she is born during the 12 nights of Christmas, running from December 25th until the Feast of Epiphany on January 6th, so my wife barely missed it by 2 days. In Romania, the legend goes on a step further. Children conceived on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day are cursed to become werewolves because their parents knew better and they should have abstained from sexy time on baby Jesus' birthday. But anyway, a child born in or there around Christmas isn't necessarily doomed to a life like that of the American werewolf in London, because its parents have a small window of opportunity to perform elaborate rituals which would keep their sons and daughters from becoming werewolves as adults. At the time of the birth, 3 women from the village must now volunteer to act as a said Christmas baby's guardian or godmothers of sorts, and they then must make a very specific gown made of wool for the child, but it has to be done and adorned by the baby before the end of the night of its first day of life. And the baby has to have it on ready to go before the sun comes up, and then keep it on the entire following day. And those three women would then be responsible for the child, especially if the act of giving the child the wool gown doesn't quite go as planned. Maybe they put it on too late, or the baby kind of wiggles out of it. If that happens, and the child happens to then escape and eat somebody, well, it's on the three fairy godmothers. And in this case, if the baby wolf then develops a taste for blood, the perfect antidote was a bloodletting ceremony where they must take the baby wolf and make a small incision on the child's forehead while they're in wolf form. Or as a grown person, a werewolf can also be treated in any form by magic or violence if it's necessary to get them under control. So as a baby, it's a little nick across the forehead, a little blood out, and the baby's, completely cured. But as an adult, just beat the shit out of them.
I would have thought like it would have been like back in like the witching days where they're like, "You're a witch? We're gonna feed this baby wolf a cake full of dried piss, and if it eats it, and doesn't die, it's cured. And then maybe we can sink it in a basket in a river and it floats back up at the top. Evil spirit will be driven out. Yeah."
Right. If it floats, it's a werewolf. If it don't, then it wouldn't.
Whoops. My bad.
Well, there's also there's also the possibility that if you had the access to the right sorcery, you might still be cursed, but you could at least be turned from evil. That's right, folks, you could be a good werewolf and act like your town's protector for that 12-day period of Christmas. Still, though, come January, the beast or the demon, whichever you prefer, would regain control and you'd just be an asshole the rest of the year, but you'd have 12 good solid days of Christmas to be the protector of the same town you probably terrorize for the other 353 days of the year.
Hear me out. I think this would make a great Hollywood B movie. World War II. You're in some fucking German Nazi village or Swiss village, and the German soldiers are attacking during the 12 days of Christmas, and like the good werewolf, the village protector, just fucking rips Nazis apart for 12 whole days. It's just 2 hours of bloody gore of Nazis getting ripped apart by a werewolf in a Santa hat.
I dig it.
Or a Santa thong.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I want it. Wait, what? Hold on a second. That reminds me, I've got Elliot in the background. He's got his Santa hat on, but I might need to get him a little baby Santa thong.
Oh, yeah, I see it on top. It's just his head's bigger than the Santa hat.
Little baby hat.
Little baby hat.
I mean, it's a bulbous head. We
bulbous
don't blame him for the way he was made.
It's not his fault.
Probably has a pocket mouth too, creepy little bastard.
Yeah.
Right.
How are his
well,
fingers?
Unfortunately, in Finland,
do they smell like Goldie Hawn?
Wasn't expecting that. Nice. Nice, you dirty pervert. Unfortunately, in Finland, though, there was no way to fully break a werewolf curse. And even if you might be able to escape the full transformation via magic or sorcery, you'd still be stuck with nothing but a wolf's tail for the rest of your life. So imagine trying to put pants on, Presto. How would that be?
Just cut a hole in the back, baby rock.
But what if That's true.
It's like a dog. How do you know I'm happy to see you? My tail's wagging. What's up, baby?
Wow. So depending how happy the werewolf person is, they could have, tent pokers on both sides.
Yeah.
Well, Presto, what if I told you perhaps there was something even worse than Lon Chaney Jr.'s fate that you could possibly become being born on Christmas Day? Strangely enough, although the idea was most prevalent in the Middle Ages in northeastern Europe, some think that the connection between werewolves and Christmas actually even predates Christmas itself as an early Greek and pagan tradition. And one theory suggests the connection between Christmas and werewolves boils down deeper to the Greek belief of the Kilikan. Hang on a second here.
Kilikanzaros.
The Kilikanzar.
Yeah, we covered it. Those are those little fucking goblins where you throw out like shoes and shit, and they're like, I gotta count how many beans are on the floor because I can't cause mischief because this asshole. There's 1 bean, 2 bean, 3. Oh shit, my memory sucks. How many beans were there, Jerry? Oh, there were 2 beans. God dang it.
Yep. Now, did we talk about the Kilikanzaroi for a Christmas episode or
We
just a
did.
random episode? Do you
No,
recall?
it was a Christmas
On
episode.
Christmas?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to bring it back around because it goes hand in hand with werewolves. That's right, folks. The Greek Kilikanzaroi, as they're referred to now. This interesting cryptid is said to be an incredibly ugly little beastie with a hairy body, horse legs, and monkey arms. Their faces twisted into devil-like snarls, dimly lit with their burning red eyes, like two burning red coals. And their ears crafted more like that of a goat or a donkey, and their mouths even bearing boar-like tusks. So big, in fact, and so gnarled, these things can't even fully close their mouths, so their lizard-like tongues just hang out, draping across their chests like some kind of sick necktie, causing them to even speak with a lisp. They can come in all shapes and sizes, ranging from elf-like diminutives to giants who tower over mere mortal men. They're predominantly male, however, and oftentimes their tongue ain't the only thing that's big, ladies, that's right, and men. They have large protruding sex organs dangling between their knees, just rolling around with a fire hose, just
That's
knocking
right.
them in the knees.
The Christmas Red Rocket.
Oh. Now, the Kilikanzaroi were demons typically focused on sawing through the world tree at the roots and thus trying to destroy reality and earth life as we know it. But these monsters were unleashed on the days between December 25th and January 6th, allowed to come above ground to terrorize earthlings during the Epiphany, knocking on doors, climbing down chimneys, and masking themselves as the jolly old fat man himself. And although it meant scary times for medieval humans, it also allowed the world tree's roots to fully heal from the other 353 days that these little creatures were gnawing and sawing and tearing at the roots. And then when the days get a little longer and the Kilikanzaroi are forced back down to Earth, they're faced with a completely healed world tree, reluctantly returning to their task once again to saw through the very roots of existence. But what exactly do these little boogers do whilst they're out and about during their 12 days of Christmas, Preston? According to Siberian tradition, these 12 days were considered the unbaptized days, when these little creeps found someone outdoors, perhaps at night during the night of the unbaptized day. They jump on the person's back like some kind of creepy backpack, and thus demand to be carried wherever its heart desires. This torture would go on and on, only to be obstructed when the roosters start announcing the dawn, and at that moment, the Kilikanzaroi would then release the victim, allowing it to run away, thus disappearing itself into the shadows.
So it's kind of like the.
But you know, Presto, these little.
The Italian version of Night Runners. Like you get this little bastard on your back, and you got to run around town.
Yeah. You got it, man. But you know what? These little guys aren't all bad. Because while Krampus and Bearschnickel and these other Christmas creeps were all about tormenting little kids, the Kilikanzaroi are best known to also punish and torment people who dare commit the ultimate sin of adultery.
That's right, you fucking
That's right,
cheaters,
folks.
you piece of shit. That's what you're going to get when you cheat on
Yeah.
the missus.
That's right. Keep your pants on.
Yeah.
Adulterers were known to sneak out of their homes, oftentimes at night while their significant other was asleep, and then visit the person they were cheating with, or prostitutes, or even brothels. Though we do prefer to call those, sex workers, but also ladies of the night back in these old days.
Winches.
The Kilikanzaroi would then sit and wait. These creatures would sit and wait on top the door frames of the front door of the house, and then suddenly jump down, pouncing on the back of the adulterers who were leaving the home. They would then lash them in their faces and necks with sticks, and whoop and dig their sharp nails into their back and their neck, and force these guys to once again run through nearby forests all night long, until they'd flee again by the sight of the first dawn. But that didn't mean that they were done with the dirty, dirty cheaters, because these little imps would also come back every night thereafter, remaining on their door lintel, taunting and teasing the cheating assholes until the adulterers finally confessed their sins to their significant other, thus allowing them to retreat because their job there was done.
So do you think like back then they just sat on that door frame and like she's a hoe, she's a hoe. They're just sitting there just singing it over. I did it! Oh my god!
I hope so. I really hope so. Anyway, whether you're being besieged by a werewolf or a Kilikanzaroi, there are a few ways people can protect themselves during the days when these little bastards run loose.
Keep it in
One
your
such
pants.
method is to leave them. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, yeah, just, don't run around with your Kris Kringle dangling around and you'll be all right. One such method, again, is to leave a metal colander on your doorstep to trick the visiting Kilikanzaroi, since these little things are just about as stupid as they are ugly. The little imp will sit on your doorstep all night trying to count each hole in the colander. But because they're so stupid and can't count above the number 2, and since there's believed to be a holy number associated with the number 3, by simply pronouncing the number 3 itself, the Kilikanzaroi would then instinctively kill itself by saying a holy number that represents the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. So basically, you could just drop your spaghetti strainer out there and they'd say 1, 2, and then that colander falls down and you know that this thing killed itself because you can hear the metal colander banging around your front doorstep. But it's also an annual tradition in some cultures to throw little donut-like desserts filled with syrup and sausages onto your roof, and then sing a special song. Because it's believed that once this is done, the Kilikanzaroi will then eat the little sweet sausage treat and leave, returning back to their work underground, satisfied with a full tummy.
To the window,
Another supposed...
to the walls, till the sweat runs down my balls. Skeet, skeet.
Another supposed method of protecting from the Kilikanzaroi is to leave the fire burning in your fireplace all night long so they can't enter through it. Because again, these guys mask themselves as Santa Claus, coming through your chimney, knocking on your door, and so on and so forth. In some areas, people would even burn a Yule log for the duration of the 12 days. In other areas, people would throw foul-smelling shoes into the fire, so the stench was then believed to repel the Kilikanzaroi away, forcing them to stay away because, my God, Dad's shoes just stink. Someone buy this man some new work boots. Also, a great excuse to get new shoes. Sorry, Mom, I threw mine in the fire to scare away the little devil bastards. Additional ways to keep them away would be to mark one's door with a black cross on Christmas Eve, and then also burning incense. And just like the werewolf, according to some legend, any child born during the 12 days of Christmas was in danger of transforming into the Kilikanzaroi during each Christmas season, starting with adulthood. It's believed that the antidote to prevent the transformation was to bind the baby, when it's born, in tresses of garlic and straw, or to simply singe the child's toenails. Ew, that's gross. Burn your kid's toes? And according to other legends, anyone born on a Saturday could be able to see and talk to Kilikanzaroi. And now, just as a way to bring the story somehow to relate to our old story of mushrooms, you remember the story, Preston, about the reindeer eating the magic mushrooms and jumping over the top of the yurts and everything else, and Eskimos coming out saying, ooh and ah.
Mm-hmm.
You got this idea that supposedly back in 1560 in Livonia, this guy that's got kind of a gimpy leg, or lame as they would call it back in the day. Hold on just a second. Give me 1 second. You all right, babe? Oh, sorry, I thought I heard something fall.
Yeah, Leslie is watching on Facebook and says, Hi, Leslie.
Oh, what's up, Leslie? Let me start over here real quick. Supposedly we have this story that back in 1560 in Livonia, you got this guy with a gimpy leg, or a lame leg of sorts. He'd go around the land trying to get his chores completed, and so he'd somehow charm people by hitting them with a whip with an iron tip, turning any human being he would cross into a werewolf. So then these things would go hunt the cattle and the sheep, And then they transform the last 12 days of Christmas back into human beings. So for 12 days, these things roam the land doing his bidding. At the end of the 12 days, they turn back to human. Kind of a cool thing, kind of stupid, but what happens here is before the werewolves of Livonia transform back while they're still turned into their wolf-like man forms, these guys go around having themselves a little werewolf party. See, they start raiding everybody's cellars, drinking their beer and their mead. Then they'd go back and gather at a stone wall, where they'd take turns leaping over it to see who could jump the highest over a stone wall. And in some cases, they'd continue to stack rocks higher and higher and higher until you'd ultimately have one grand champion jumping werewolf. And this was supposedly recorded in a book written as a gathering of huge multitude of wolves which have been changed from men, and which during the night rage with such fierceness that the inhabitants suffer more hurt from them than they ever do from natural wolves. For these human wolves break down doors, descend into cellars, and they drink whole turns of beer and mead. So I don't know about you, man, but I'm kind of into this werewolf mead party, man. I want to get drunk and just see you can drunkenly jump over your neighbor's fence. That sounds rad.
Yeah.
Well, Presto, what'd you bring to the party, man? Because that concludes my Christmas werewolves. But I think you got a fun little way to finish this one off, huh?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, what's the weirdest thing you ever got for Christmas?
The weirdest thing I ever got for Christmas. That's a good question. I don't know that I've ever gotten anything really weird.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring up Aunt Martha, because I did have an Aunt Martha who would give us strange things, like maybe a bag of clothespins, or like a $2 bill, or just some random stuff. Once in a while, it might be like some half jar of jelly or jam that she thought you might like. But I don't have any really weird Christmas presents. What about you?
So the only thing that I could say that's like, weird that I got for Christmas is good old Aunt Janet, my dad's sister, who never married, never had kids. Grandma would always buy us presents, and then Aunt Janet would stitch together a pillowcase and wrap the presents in the pillowcase like a little Santa's bag. So I have a collection.
Yeah.
I have a collection that is, us cousins. We try to almost like trading cards. We're like, hey, do you got one of these pillowcases? I'll trade you this pillowcase for this pillowcase. So we have a whole collection of Aunt Janet pillowcases, which is probably like the weirdest thing I ever got, because I'm just like, everybody like in the family covets these fucking shitty pillowcases that are falling apart, because they're just made from like Christmas material and like weird shit, like like wiener dogs and like Santa hats, or like snowflakes and like dumb shit. But they're the best pillowcases. They're so soft. So
Oh,
yeah,
soft and shitty.
Yeah, soft and shitty. So I decide, Reddit never lets us down sometimes for topics. So let's scour Reddit for maybe some of the weirdest Christmas gifts that people have ever gotten. And boy, did they not let me down. One user said, I got an entire mouse skeleton for my uncle wired together surprisingly well to make it stay put. I was like 7, and I loved animals so much my uncle thought it was a nice present. He was absolutely right. However, my parents didn't like it, and looking back, they probably threw it away the first time we moved and told me it got lost. Aw.
Oh, that's funny. That's too good.
Another user said, I can top that. My mom got me a copy of Mein Kampf in 2015 and nothing else.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Let's see. I love my grandparents, but they always had the weird habit of giving me random side presents along with what I had actually asked for. The best example of this is when I was 14, they gave me a book titled How to Accept Your Death, which was about terminal cancer. They knew I liked books and science, but they had got a tad carried away. And I'm now 22, and thankfully I haven't ever felt the need to read that book, and hopefully never will.
Jesus.
My uncle got me a book on how to lose weight after 50. I was 25 at the time. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, my uncle of
Oh,
mine
shit.
gave me a complete kit of self-defense articles, pepper spray, personal alarm, and an extendable baton, among other things. Apparently, was very worried when I started university and thought I would have to go that I would go alone in public transport. It was very considerate, but I always thought it was weird. Somebody else said
Wow.
I got an inflatable sumo suit. My uncle gave me
That's
a
not too shabby.
My uncle gave me a lock from a safe with all the insides jumbled together inside a Ziploc bag. It was confusing and amazing all at the same time. My ex-grandfather-in-law gave me his dead wife's dildo. He didn't wrap it, though. Just put it in a Walmart sack.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Just a metal bar. No holes. Just a cylinder of metal. I was 8.
That's the dildo? Or
No, that's
something
somebody
else?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Man, barbaric.
Dun. That one's kind of lame. Oh, we got a Nolan Ryan rookie card. Well, that's because you're a dork.
What's weird about that? That's kind of cool.
Yeah. A board game where you played as an octopus cultivating its garden. A dead bee in a jar.
I like that.
My mom found in her yard. I was a weird kid, and I was really into bugs, and I thought having my own perfectly preserved bee was just the coolest, but in fact, it was kind of weird.
I think that's kind of cool, man. I'm into entomology. I've got a death head hawk moth behind me, and also some kind of really cool blue beetle. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. I'd be all right with a bee, or even a mouse skeleton for that matter.
Speaking of ants, I received edible crotchless panties one year from an ant. I'm a male. I looked around the room to see if I was being pranked, which no one seemed to be laughing, so I played it off, smiled, and said thank you while trying not to laugh out loud. My sister was sitting next to me, sees him, grabs the pack, and said, "Did you get crotchless G-strings that is edible?" My aunt's vision isn't great. She ended up on some website, possibly Amazon, and saw watermelon gummy and figured I would like some watermelon gummies. Ah, there you go.
Huh.
I did try eating them one night while I was
Watermelon gummy edible underwear.
Yeah, and they weren't very tasty.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah.
I imagine a really old, like a fruit by the foot. Or what were the other things called? The fruit roll-ups. That's what I'm thinking of.
When I was a kid, my grandma got me a dog toy for Christmas. Well.
Not too shabby. I keep going back to the used dildo and the fucking lead pipe.
Yeah. A purse when I was 12 for my great aunt. I'm a male.
All right, well, depends what year it is, Things are more progressive these days.
Yeah. When I was 16 years old, my father gave me a strategy guide to the computer game TIE Fighter. We did not own the game. We did not own a computer. 1996, if you're wondering. It was still possible back then without being weird or severely disadvantaged.
Wow, that's amazing.
A box of spaghetti.
God, I remember the days back when you could...
And then
just a box of spaghetti.
Yeah, and then
very nice.
Somebody responded, "Yeah, try getting some penis pasta from my Secret Santa. I honestly couldn't have been happier, but weird."
Yeah, hey.
Let's see what else we got. A dildo from my best friend's dad.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Huh. I think that's kind of a tricky gift to give. It's got to be like the right relationship.
It's got to be the right. Now, another user said, "I might win this. When I was a teenage boy, maybe 13, my Uncle Tom gave me a few things. First of all, he gave me a somewhat racist hat he found at some street vendor in Chicago. It was a Chinese silk cap, but it had a long black braid sewn into the back, so you could wear it and pretend to have a long black braid that was your hair. He found it hilarious.
Oh, no.
He bought it and then decided he would gift it to me. He also gave me a plastic bag of fresh kumquats and a bottle of English leather cologne.
Huh. Huh. Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah.
Are you just reading through these live?
Yeah, I am.
I thought you had these like cherry picked and pasted into a
No.
document.
My dad one time put a log in a box for his girlfriend and wrapped it. She didn't find it funny as we did.
That's like some Ren and Stimpy level stuff, man.
Yeah. When I was around 30 years old, my step-grandmother gave me a casserole dish. The lid was missing and the edge had multiple really nasty chips. And you could see that food had permeated into it and welded it into itself. It was still greasy from the last time she used it, too, complete with baked-on blackness under the handles. My sister got a plastic bag of her old nail polish. We discovered that none of the bottles had liquid in them, as they were solid and dried inside. Some had dates dating back to the late 60s and early 70s. But guess what? We spent
Amazing.
$250 on that bitch.
Wow.
Yeah. A 3D picture of on metal of the Virgin Mary. I don't know. That's actually pretty fucking rad. I wouldn't complain.
I mean, there's worse things.
Yeah.
Could be a 3D printed dildo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One year, all I got was a fucking corn cob. Oh.
What? Huh, what year is that? And was that grandma's old dildo?
My aunt's
no.
baby teeth. We used to do a white elephant gift, and she thought it would be a great idea to gift her baby teeth. I gave them to my mom because what the fuck? Condoms.
Yeah.
It was from my mother.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. So I can tell you the weirdest gift I ever gave, if you want to hear that. Once, I don't know how many years ago, let's just say like 10 years ago, Shayla had waxed my nose, which doesn't hurt as much as anybody thinks. It's actually not too shabby at all. But they put a little wax up in your nose, and then you put a popsicle stick up there, and once the wax cures, you just pull it out, and you're really just waxing first, I don't know, 5 millimeters worth of hair out of your nose. But sometimes it takes a couple popsicle sticks per nostril. So when we were done, I had like 4 popsicle sticks with wax with little fuzzy, furry little tips because it was my nose hairs. So one year for Christmas, when we got together with my in-laws, I told everybody to close their eyes and hold out their hands. And I gave my mother-in-law and father-in-law and brother-in-law and sister-in-law all one of the popsicle sticks that had my little nose goblin on the end of it.
Oh. Yeah.
2 people were laughing in that room of 7, and it was my wife and I.
All right, well, that's all I got. The dildos really
That's all you got? That's all you can scour?
take the cake.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. Well, everybody, we just want to say happy holidays, happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, whatever you don't believe in. We just hope you have a good 12 days of Christmas. Don't turn into werewolves. Don't turn into any Kilikanzaros. Remember, if you want new work boots, throw the old ones in the fire and just claim that you're warding off the evil devil imps, and you should be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think coinciding with this episode, because it is a little bit shorter, on the audio feed, I'll probably upload our very first Christmas special, because I think that has now fallen off the feed. Since we're well over 300 episodes, Apple kind of cuts them off after 300, and Apple kind of dictates what everybody else gets. So just in case, I may throw that up there as a little retro throwback to kind of coincide with this. But
we're already at like 45 minutes, so it's not as short as you think.
Well, I got to cut out 15 minutes of you quietly reading to yourself the Reddit post that you didn't share.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, the video is going to be 45, but all good. That's good stuff, man. I don't know what it is about getting a used dildo or a brand new dildo from certain people that just kind of, again, weirds me out.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, if you would please, on social medias, give us a follow on the old Instagram. We are at we are at PXL Paranormal. On Facebook, we are the Pixelated Paranormal Podcast. Preston, have we moved the needle on YouTube?
I mean, we're at 298. God damn it, we are 2 away from 300. Can you just give us a Christmas present? I know we've been bad. We've kind of been assholes. But instead of a big lump of coal in our stocking, can you just share with like 2 of your friends, somebody out there on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share, and get us to the old 300. We're up to 2 followers on Twitch, which I don't even know. Twitch is probably not a thing. 5 subscribers on Kick. 16 subscribers on Rumble. Come on, you conspiracy nuts. You love this shit. I mean, I see that like 160 people are watching these videos, but only like, 16 of those actually liked and subscribed? Don't be a peeping Tom. Don't be a creeper. Like and subscribe to your favorite paranormal show. That's all I'm asking. That's it. You know? All right.
Hell yeah, I like it.
Onto my promos. So, as always, attention all Bigfoot enthusiasts and fans of the supernatural. We have a special announcement for you, introducing My Daily Naturals, the ultimate solution to cleanse your gut and keep your body in balance. Picture this: Bigfoot roaming through the forest searching for the perfect vitamin to support his legendary physique. Well, look no further, my furry friends. Not those type of furry friends, but you guys are cool too. My Daily Naturals has got you covered. With the power of ozone and the essential minerals, your gut will be cleansed and your cellular function will be optimized like never before. And that's not all. We know that a healthy gut needs the right stuff, so My Daily Naturals helps you repopulate your gut flora with a perfect blend of natural elements. Say goodbye to digestive woes and hello to easy digestion. Nature is normal, just like old Bigfoot himself. That's why My Daily Naturals is dedicated to providing you with the finest, most natural ingredients to support your body's balance. It's like a force feast for your gut. And here's the best part: by using promo code PXLPARA at checkout, you'll not only be taking care of your own health, but you'll be supporting your favorite show. It's a win-win situation, folks. So whether you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, or turning in to the show live, remember My Daily Naturals and check the comments in the description for the link. Keeping Bigfoot and your gut happy, one vitamin at a time. And, as always, if you need a beard, if you want a beard, if you want to grow the best goddamn beard possible, ladies and gentlemen, gather around the fire. We have a beard balm that will make you tingle and your sleigh bells jingle while taming even the wildest winter werewolf hairs. We're introducing Big Dob's Beard Balm 2.0 in the irresistible sweet tobacco scent. That's right. Picture this: you're strolling through the snowy forest and suddenly a wild winter werewolf appears. But fear not, for Big Dob's Beard Balm 2.0, you can tame that beastly mane and turn it into a work of art. Our sweet tobacco scent is so alluring that even old Saint Nick himself won't be able to resist your beard's charm. Move over, mistletoe, because Big Dob's Beard Balm 2.0 is here to spread some holiday cheer. And let's not forget about Krampus, the legendary Christmas demon. With Big Dob's Beard Balm 2.0, your beard will give Krampus a run for his money. He'll be so impressed, he might even ask for some grooming tips. Now here's the best part. Use promo code PXLPARA at checkout, and you'll get a fantastic 20% off your order. That's right. Use promo code PXLPARA at checkout for a discount that even Santa's elves would be jealous of. So why settle for a regular beard when you can have a beard that's as smooth as sweet tobacco? Big Dob's Beard Balm 2.0 is here to make your beard the talk of the town, the envy of every holiday party. Remember, folks, use promo code PXLPARA for that amazing 20% discount. And get your hands on Big Dob's Beard Balm 2.0 today and let your beard become a legend that even Santa himself can't resist. Don't let your beard be a winter grumpus. Let it shine with Big Dob's Beard Balm 2.0. Tame the wild, seduce the jolly, and give Krampus a run for his money. Get yours now and embrace the power of a well-groomed beard. Oh. That was for you.
This episode is an hour now.
Yeah, that was for you, Alan, you son of a bitch.
Hell yeah. In the Wichita area, please stop by CD Trade Post, Pawnee, and Seneca. See our dear friend Leslie and the rest of the gang. Also, check out Paranormal Egg Experience Food Truck and Paranormal.cafe. All right, with that, I want to say again, happy holidays, everybody. And with this last little swig of the gingerbread whiskey eggnog, I want to say cheers to the weird shit in this world. Happy holidays. Oh, I really messed that up, didn't I? That didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Happy holidays
You
and
fucking
cheers to the
drunk
weird shit in the
bastard. Just
world.
get out of here. God damn it.
No, that's the thing. Like, I have maybe had a shot of whiskey. Anyway, cheers to the weird shit in the world. Those of us who love to talk about it, and happy holidays.
And stay spooky and stay on that paranormal highway.
The cast at Pixelated Paranormal would like to thank you for listening to this week's episode. Pixelated Paranormal is here to tell you tales of the fantastical, the strange, the unknown. Tales that will move you a little further down the paranormal highway. If you'd like to share your own listener story, we would love to hear it. Email us at pixelatedparanormal@gmail.com. Again, that's pixelatedparanormal@gmail.com. We'd really love to hear from you. Again, thanks for listening to this week's episode of Pixelated Paranormal, your guide to the unusual and the strange.